right, in unison, what kind of animal is this?
Adorable.
Good job, you guys.
1 o'clock Basecamp presentation.
So more specifically, this is Xena, the Linnaeus's two-toed sloth. And as she's making her way out here, I'd love for someone to look at her feet and tell me how many toes she has. She's
3.
supposed to have 2, yes. If you look at her back feet, she has 3, but scientists sometimes like to trick us. If you look at her front feet, she's got 2. So that's going to be important if you're ever trying to figure out what kind of sloth is in front of you. 2-toed and 3-toed sloths are actually quite different. They even evolved very separately. So very unique creatures. As she's making her way out here, you're going to see all of her amazing adaptations. Now, I have a lot of wildlife explorers in the front here, and I would like to hear from you guys. Do you think this animal primarily lives on the ground, as in terrestrial, or up in the trees, as in arboreal? What do we think? Arboreal. Who was thinking arboreal? Yeah, good job, you guys. We can all remember that arboreal means up in the trees. It's the same, it comes from the word arbor, which in Spanish means tree. So we're all going to remember that.
See the green on the belly? I'll explain that later, if she doesn't.
She is very well adapted for life up in the trees. So first of all, she has got all sorts of crazy adaptations that we don't have. Now, we live on the ground, right? So we are very good at pushing and pulling. If you have a friend that's standing next to you, I want you to do me a favor. Go ahead and link hands. You can do it with yourself too. You don't have a microphone in your hand, so you don't have this issue. Yeah, when you link hands, you can pull, right? Yeah, how about push? Can you push? Yeah, we've got 2 major muscle groups. That's the pushing and the pulling muscles. Guess what? Which one Xena is missing? Just look at her. Push. Who's thinking pull? Who's thinking push? All right, the push has it. She does not have pushing muscles. In fact, if she gets down on the ground, she does this very weird swimming motion to be able to get around. So you can imagine that would be a very awkward place for her to be. In fact, she is going to spend 99.9% of her life up in the trees. They do not come down to the ground for very much. They come down for one piece of business only, especially the females. Any ideas of what that was? To give birth. That's a good guess. It's not to give birth though, but I like where you're going. Breeding. It's also a really good guess, but no. It's something that we do a lot more frequently than giving birth and breeding. It's to go to the bathroom. Yes, so she comes all the way down to the base of her tree to go to the bathroom. Now, you would think that'd be really annoying, right? I don't know about you guys, but I go to the bathroom several times a day. Xena only goes to the bathroom maybe once a month out in the wild. Yeah, so 2-toed sloths go to the bathroom. They have a very slow digestive system. Out in the wild, they're going to eat a lot of material like this bit of browse here. So a lot of leaves and really kind of tough to digest material. And that means that they have a very specialized gut, right? So it's a very slow moving gut. And that means that they're only going to go to the bathroom a couple of times, maybe 2, maybe 3 times a month, but very infrequently. Of course, here at the zoo, Xena gets some material that is a little bit more easy to digest, like that delicious romaine lettuce that she's chomping on there. Her favorite snacks are always the crunchy ones. She loves crunchy lettuce. She's also got some yam on there, and I think a little bit of zucchini. So, knowing what she's eating on that skewer, I want to hear from my wildlife explorers again. Is a carnivore. That means an animal that likes to eat meat. No? How about an herbivore, an animal that likes to eat vegetables? Herbivore, good job. I love where you're thinking. So yeah, she is primarily herbivorous. That means that she only is going to eat things like plants and leaves. Now, as a mammal, she does have to have some kind of protein source, because that's what makes all of us nice and strong, right? That's what we're going to build our muscles out of. That's what our brain is made out of. So very important for her to get some protein as well. So what she's primarily going to get protein from is going to be things like bugs on those leaves, and then occasionally she might eat some birds' eggs. But she's not a hunter. She's not gonna go out there eating a cow anytime soon. That would be very weird. Now, as she's chewing, especially my friends over here, can you see what's in her mouth? Does she have flat teeth? Do they look nice and soft and sweet like our teeth? No, they're pretty sharp, huh? But she's not a carnivore. What'd she need those sharp teeth for? Any guesses? I know you know. Go ahead. What's your guess? For grinding up leaves? That is a great guess. So she is going to definitely, she has this crazy mechanism in the front of her mouth. She doesn't have teeth like we do. So in order to pull those leaves off, she actually uses this really hard, kind of almost bony material in her mouth that she pulls those leaves off of. But that's a good guess. She's definitely going to grind up her food. Any other guesses over here what she might use those teeth for, the sharp ones? In the green shirt. That's you.
Plants.
For eating plants? Yeah, definitely. Any other guesses what she might? She's got sharp teeth like a carnivore, but she's not a carnivore. Yeah. What's your guess here with the tiger shirt?
Could it also maybe help for climbing?
Helpful for climbing? Ooh, that's a cool guess. I don't think I've ever seen them use their teeth for climbing, but I like where you're thinking because they're sharp, right? So they're going to be able to kind of like dig into things. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys. She's going to use those, number one, to defend herself. So we think of sloths as these very, very slow creatures, and in general they are. They're not going to try to expend a lot of energy because guess what? Leaves don't have a whole lot of nutrients, right? So it's going to take a lot of energy to digest all that food. So they're going to move as slow as they possibly can. However, you all might be a little bit surprised to know this. I have been chased out of a habitat by a sloth before. And I mean running to get away from that angry sloth. And there's two things there. First of all, we think of sloths as really sweet. I would not say that anytime you see one out in the wild that you should approach one, because guess what? They're pretty grumpy. They're real grumpy. They don't want you near them, and they will let you know. Not only that, but they can move a lot faster than you might imagine. So they're actually quite fast if they need to.
Ooh, a treat.
But they're going to try to stay away from predators as much as possible, right? Remember earlier we were talking about how they only have the one type of the muscles. They only have the pulling muscles, right? Not the pushing muscles. Well, that gives them a little bit of a weird advantage up in the trees. So they live in an area with down in South America that has all sorts of big predators. So we're talking about animals like jaguars and mountain lions, ocelots, right? See where I'm going here? These big, heavy predators. So because she only has that one type of muscle, that gives her a little bit of an advantage. Let's play a little game here. How many people, so we're gonna talk about Xena's weight here. I want to hear from my wildlife explorers here. How much do you think Xena weighs? If she was a dog, how much would you guess she weighed?
Is that before or after she poops, though?
67 pounds. That's a good guess. Any other guesses? What's your guess? How much do you think she weighs? If she was a dog? 52 pounds? 50 pounds? You guys are all right in the area that I usually hear. Did you want to guess? 18 pounds? All right. I've got one who's been listening to sloth presentations. So Xena only weighs about 15 or 16 pounds. Unbelievable, right? Your guesses are accurate. If she was a dog, maybe 35 minimum, right? We'd be looking at her thinking she's definitely going to be pretty
Sloth
heavy,
booty.
but she doesn't have a whole lot of body mass. In fact, they have this really low body mass, which is very, very useful if you're trying to get away from a big, heavy creature like a leopard or like a jaguar or an ocelot, right? The reason is you can go out on skinny branches that they can't even get to, right? So that's going to automatically give you an advantage. She's going to do the best that she can to stay away from those predators. But if a predator were to get near her, maybe like a harpy eagle, right? Because they can come in from the top of the tree. She's going to be able to give a nice big sharp bite, right? And say, hey, leave me alone. And that's going to be kind of her last defense with those sharp teeth. She's doing some scratching here. She loves to sunbathe. She might just stay in that spot for a while. All right, I know you guys are all burning desire to learn about this animal. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to take some from my wildlife explorers first. Go ahead. So my friend here says she thinks the animal is a really good hunter. Let's see. Who was listening to the beginning? Do we think that she's a good hunter, or do you think she's a good gatherer? She's gonna mostly gather. She's gonna mostly gather, but she hunts for cuteness, right? All right. What are some other things you guys are wondering? I'm looking for questions. What are you thinking? What are you wondering? Yeah, go ahead. Oh, you brought up a very good point. So my wildlife explorer up here said, what if she doesn't see the predator coming? So let's talk a little bit about her senses. We have really good eyesight, right? I can see you, you can see me, we can see color, so we're pretty good at that. Xena does not have good eyesight. In fact, we think that being a sloth is a little bit like looking at the world from the bottom of a swimming pool. You ever done that before? You're swimming around, you look up, and all you can really see is shapes, right? Not a whole lot of detail. So what if she doesn't see that predator coming? She has one thing that's very prominent on her face. What is it? Her nose. Do you think she has a good sense of smell or a bad sense of smell? Good, yes. That's almost always a really good way to try to figure out what the animal's best sense. Just look for the largest part of their face, and it's going to tell you whether they have really good eyesight or really good sense of smell. So she has an incredible sense of smell. So even if she doesn't see that predator coming, she's going to know. She'll smell him. She'll smell him before they're even near her. So really good observation. All right, so who has some other things that they're wondering? Yeah, go ahead.
Why don't we get to just see it in a cage?
Why don't you get to see it in a cage? Oh, in an area. So she's nocturnal. Do you know what that means? She sleeps in the day, yeah. So if she was out on a habitat somewhere, she would just be a lump somewhere sleeping, and you wouldn't ever get to see her. So that's why she makes such a better ambassador, coming out here and being active out here, so you can actually see what she's like when she's active.
But we also want to see what she's like sleeping.
You also want to see what she's like sleeping. I can tell you, she's like this, but curled up. Does that give you help to imagine? Yes. All right. Over here in my black and brown dress, what's your question?
Like a lot of food.
Repeat it for me.
Sassy.
Does she like a lot of foods? I think she likes a lot of vegetables. So let's see, what are her favorite things? She really loves yam, and she really loves that romaine lettuce. But you know what her very favoriteest things are? She doesn't get them very often. It's kind of like candy. She loves red grapes. They have to be red, not green. Red grapes only. She also really loves papaya and anything sweet. And occasionally, she gets a little bit of egg, and she does love egg as well. All right, you're dying. Here, let's give me your question.
Where did she come from?
Where does she come from? She comes from South America.
Like her specifically.
Oh, her specifically.
Her story.
Her story. Okay, I'll tell her story. So she has a really wonderful backstory, and Xena solo, just as an individual, has taught us so much about sloths and their physiology, their life, their natural history. And the reason is she was actually born here at the zoo. So we have gotten to spend her entire life with her from the very beginning. And she has a pretty unique little story. So a few years ago, we just opened this area a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I don't know, I can't keep track of time. But it's a pretty brand new area. It's one of the newest areas in the zoo. Before we opened it, it was the oldest area, really in need of some upkeep. So when we went to go build this space, we actually had to move out of here. All the animals had to move out because we had to completely level this place and build it from the ground up. The night that we moved out, Xena and I went to go do a night party, so that's kind of like a corporate event. We go and hang out and we do this kind of thing and kind of teach people about animals. We went to do a party, and the next day we got a little bit of a surprise. So Xena has been with her fella for many years, and when we first introduced them, they didn't really seem to mind each other, which is actually kind of weird for sloths. They don't want to be around each other, but they really didn't seem to like each other that much. We weren't seeing a lot of interactions, but we were really, really hoping for a baby because they're very, very healthy genetically. So that brings me back to the day after we came back from that night party. That morning we came in, there was something weird in the habitat. We called down to the managers. We said, hey, bring us a ladder, because guess what? She's up in the very top of the habitat, right? Bring us a ladder. We need to check on Xena. We think there might be something wrong. So we get up there, and lo and behold, Xena has a little tiny baby on her belly. Yeah, so I bet my moms know what the weird thing was in the habitat that we saw and why we were worried about her. So she is a mammal. She's a placental mammal just like we are. So, oh my goodness, we were so excited about that baby. We'd been doing ultrasounds just like moms get here, just like human moms get. We'd been doing weights. No indication she was pregnant, right? Crazy. So how did we miss it? You're San Diego Zoo, world famous, right? Like, how did you guys miss this? So it turns out that crazy digestive system that's able to digest things like leaves is very big. And it gets in the way of seeing the baby inside mom on an ultrasound. So now we have this vet who's been doing her ultrasounds for many, many years, and he has developed a very perfect system. And what he usually tells us is, she's not pregnant. It takes some time. So I'm really, oh, look at her eating leaves just like a real sloth. She loves her hibiscus leaves. So I'm happy to report that after that one first surprise baby, Xena has now had several babies. She is on her third. She's on her third baby right now, and he's actually grown up living by himself now, and we're hoping for some more. Who knows? Yeah, go ahead. Do they sleep upside down? They sure do. Sometimes they just sleep in the middle of a perch, and they go like this. Weird, huh? They have really good balance. They'll sleep right on the top of the perch, especially our male. He loves to do that. It freaks me out. Yes, what's your other question? Why does she climb? Is that what your question is? Why does she climb? She climbs because that's how she gets around. She's made for climbing. So that's what she loves to do. She loves to climb around and get all of her snacks. Right now she's mad at that hibiscus branch for some reason. Alrighty, folks. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go off mic, but we're going to hang out here for a little while, let Xena kind of get a little bit more exercise and see when she wants to go back home. So I'm just going to hang out up here. If you have any last minute questions, if you want to ask more questions about Xena, about the zoo, about Jamie, I know most of the things, so you can come up here. But I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for spending this time with us. Very, very important. And for coming to the zoo today. We can't do the work that we do without you. So the fact that you came here today lets us do all of our in situ conservation work all around the world and save animals like Xena. So thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day at the zoo.
Thank you.